Hi, I'm Hazel with Major Minor Music Project, and today I'm here with Nicola from Calgary band Cardiograms. Nicola, could you tell us who is in the band and how you got together?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Hazel. I in the band with me in Cardiograms is the co-founder, Jess Lopez, who's a very, very close friend of mine and a local artist and poet. And they had not ever done music as a band before. They'd been classically trained in piano and done choir singing and stuff. And a few years ago, I said, "Hey, do you want to write a song together for the Ship and Anchor songwriting contest?" And they were very stoked on that idea. So we did it and thus formed Cardiograms. Originally, we were just a duo with a drum machine, and I was playing bass sometimes and guitar sometimes. And then we decided to make it an actual band. So we decided to get a drummer, and our first drummer that we tried things out with was a guy by the name of Adam Warner, very talented local dude who's played in a bunch of bands. And then we got Joelle Nye to play with us, who I also play with in Night Committee. We had Ashton Bullman, who used to play in a band called Sellout, playing bass. And then Ashton abandoned us off to Edmonton to go to school. And so we're doing other bass players right now. We have Mark Bizek playing with us right now, who's an old Calgary scene guy, and also Jess's partner. So yeah, that's who's in Cardiograms.
Awesome. Who would you say are your main influences?
Well, we're all old people in this band, so we're all in our 40s, meaning that there's a lot of 90s alternative influence in what we do. So lots of Veruca Salt and the Breeders and the Pixies too.
Mhm.
A lot of that kind of thing. You definitely hear in Cardiograms.
Um, what are some local bands Cardiograms is fans of?
Oh, so many, all of them. We are big fans of our good pals Misha and the Spanks, of course.
Mhm.
My best baby, Misha, who of course you know from Girls Rock Camp.
Yeah.
And so we just actually were fortunate enough to do a double record release with them at the Ship a few weeks ago, which was super awesome. Also huge fans of Napalm Pom. In fact, I'm wearing the shirt right now.
Nice.
Fabulous dudes, fabulous music, super fun. I'm a really big fan of the Galacticas. Super great dudes. Tony is such an awesome Calgary scene cheerleader, and I just love him, and I love their records. I am a big fan of Brain Bent. They're a super, super good band. I really was getting into what they were doing before the pandemic shut us all down. Who else? My goodness, probably so many other bands that I am forgetting about. Julius Sumner Miller, of course. Woo!
Yeah.
Almost say Julius Sumner Miller. Oh dear. But no, they're obviously fab and super fun to go and party with. And then a band that doesn't play around here too much, but is Calgarian and tours when that's allowed a lot. But Belvedere, obviously.
Mm.
I'm a big fan of Belvedere. And for reasons, if not obvious to people, because my partner Casey is the drummer for Belvedere, and they're also just great.
Yeah. So speaking of new releases, could you describe your newest album, Sweet Despair?
Of course. So it's definitely got that. I say we wear our 90s heart on our sleeves, and that's what it is. It's a neat record because I mean I've been playing in local bands since 1994. And this is the first time I've ever played guitar in a band. I've been a bass player for my whole life. And a couple of years ago, I decided that for this band, it would be cool to play guitar. And so I started doing more of that. And so I've never sat down and done a record with a guitar. And I did this time, and it was very satisfying. I had a lot I had to improve on, and it was a lot of fun. It's a neat record, lots of like dual harmony vocals. It's kind of Jess and I sing most of the stuff co-lead, or we take turns. And there's a little bit of everything. It definitely has one consistent, like cohesive sound, but a little bit of everything as far as types of songs go. It's all very melancholy, lyric wise, but pretty upbeat and rock and roll in the music sound. And we released it digitally, and we also got red vinyl pressed, which was pretty cool.
What was it like to record during the pandemic?
For us, it was a different kind of experience because obviously, again, my partner Casey has a recording studio, Echo Base Studios, that he has run for 20 years. And so we recorded with him. And so because me and Jess, like we all are together a lot, and Jess and Casey live in the same home, and so it wasn't too weird. It was just like going out to the studio to sort of do your thing. But planning to release the record during the pandemic, that was a different thing, if you want to talk about that at all.
Well, it was good timing because you did get to play live.
We did. Yay.
Yeah.
But it also forced us to do some different things. You know, I don't think I would have put so much effort into the release had we not had to be a bit more creative, because it wasn't just like make a record, play a show. So we made videos, you know, did some different stuff that I might not have done otherwise.
Yeah. And it would affect like just what you're writing about, I guess.
Definitely. Jess writes 90% of the lyrics for this band, which I am very grateful for, because I am the slowest lyric writer in history and just not all that great at it, whereas Jess is very clever with lyrical content. And I think that the feelings of, you know, some isolation and loneliness and frustration definitely came through into some of the songs.
Yeah. What is the band's usual creative process? Like, how do you write your songs?
Oh yeah, oftentimes what'll happen is that I have an idea, and I'll sort of make a version of a composition at home just to give everybody, you know, something to go from. And often that idea is like a guitar part and a vocal melody. Jess will hear that, and they play keys as well, so there'll be some addition there, and they'll write lyrics. And then Joelle and I mean, we've played together for quite some time at this point, and so I can usually rely on him to read my mind. And Joel, I mean, is just such a fabulous drummer. He knows what a song needs. I never worry about what he's going to do. And then we just bring it all together and jam it out. And sometimes the composition stays basically the same. Sometimes it's like, no, that actually doesn't work so well, and we work on it as a group.
So you co-founded Girls Rock Camp with Misha Louie from Misha and the Spanks. Could you tell us a bit about what Girls Rock Camp does?
Of course, yeah. Well, nothing for the last couple of years, except for the songwriting contest.
Yeah.
But what we founded the camp in at the New Black in 2013, and there's girls rock camps all over the world.
Mhm.
And basically what they do is they provide a week of musical education and experience in a sort of femme-centric environment. Definitely the definition of girls rock camp and the inclusivity has changed over the years,
Mhm.
as more non-binary kids are coming to girls rock camp, and it's really just sort of I don't know, it's like become a place where all the kids come to sort of have a non-traditional experience in learning music and being a part of a band and doing performance and recording and all that. And so, yeah, we just spend a week learning about how to write a song, how to play in a band. Sometimes for some people coming, it's how to play an instrument. Some people come and they haven't played an instrument before, and that's super cool. We do, as you know, we go to a studio and do some recording and then perform it at the Ship and Anchor. So it's kind of an all-round experience for everybody for a week.
Yeah. Is there going to be a Girls Rock Camp 2022?
Heck yes. We right now are plotting and scheming for a spring camp. So no no guarantees. I don't want to alarm anybody, but that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah. What else? What other things do you do outside your bands?
I am a health research scientist. So I currently work for AHS EMS, so Emergency Medical Services. I was a paramedic many, many years ago, and I've just sort of created my career through doing a lot of school. I'm just about finished my PhD in health services research right now. And that's what I do all day long, is different kinds of health research, specifically right now related to psychological stress for paramedics. I also hang out with Paige, which is fun,
Yeah.
and do things like cross stitch. I really enjoy cross stitching, but my work takes up a lot of my time. Music
Yeah.
gives me a break from that work, but I love it. I love the work.
How did you get into music? Like when you're growing up, like how did you decide you wanted to be a musician?
Sure. I've been playing music in bands since I was 15 years old, and I'm 43 now. Well, almost 43. I started going to local shows when I was in junior high school. And there was a really strong all ages community in Calgary, a lot of shows happening at the Black Lounge at the university, which is definitely not the Black Lounge that you see there today. It was a spot where all ages shows happened. And I really like that. Like, I've always loved music. My parents loved music. They were rock and rollers, me growing up. And I wanted to do that. I wanted to play that. And so I got into high school and I met some new friends because I was going to a high school that a lot of kids from my junior high didn't go to. So I made a bunch of new friends and they were musicians. And two of the guys have been playing together for a while, Dan and Mike. And they were like, hey, we need a bass player and we need a singer because we want to start this band. And this other dude wanted to sing. So I was like, well, I'll play bass. I'd done music in junior high, like bands. I played the oboe.
Oh,
Yeah, the
wow.
oboe. Yeah. And so my parents bought me a bass guitar and I learned how to play bass by playing in this band. And then I just never put it down. And here we are, 27 years later.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I'm still doing it. But I love it and it's very important to me. And there's so much of life that can be stressful and intense, and music, just not just the playing of music or the writing of songs, but the community as well can really
Yeah.
help with that.
So you're also playing with Night Committee right now. Are y'all working on anything?
Indeed. I'm happy to report that yes. Night Committee was basically on a hiatus for the pandemic. We all stayed in touch because, we're friends for years and we love each other dearly and we would get together and stuff. But as a band was on hiatus. We had been planning for a record pre-pandemic, and we had a lot of stuff written. And then it obviously got put on hold, but we're back at it now. We've gotten back in the jam space, and so stay tuned. We should have some new stuff for you in the nearest future.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Just a fun, crazy question to wrap this up.
Sure.
Playing with Cardiograms, who would be your ultimate 4-band bill?
Oh man. First of all, I get very tired when I have to attend 4-band bills. My back really hurts by the end of it. So hopefully we wouldn't be headlining this 4-band bill. Put us in the middle. So one of the bands I would say, I'm just going to go local rather than like big famous bands.
Yeah.
Go local. One of them would be, and we actually do get to play with this band in later October if, you know, things are still happening. But Wares from Edmonton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Cassia Hardy is like an absolute superstar. And I say that the reason that I've actually been able to become a decent guitar player is because I bought my guitar from Cassia. And I think that it had all her magic in it already. So very stoked to play with Wares, but they would definitely be on the bill. You need a party band, and so I'll put my pom pom on that bill as well. Yeah. Don't know how much stuff they're doing these days, but I've always really, really loved the Wet Secrets. Good friends. I would often sell merch for them. And they're super fabulous and fun to play with. And then I think just because we're kind of connected at the hip a little bit, I'll go with Mish, with Spanx.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Nicola. Everybody check out Cardiogram's new album. It's called Sweet Despair.
It's on Bandcamp, it's on Spotify, all the places that you find that stuff.